Welcome to Code Your English, the home to learn and grow fast.
Hello, and welcome back to another important episode here at Code Your English. I am really happy that you are here today. In this episode, we are going to talk about something very interesting. The title is The Art of Reading Minds. Now, maybe when you hear this title, you imagine something magical. Maybe you think about movies where someone can look at a person and suddenly hear their thoughts. But let me say this clearly from the beginning. We cannot read minds like in movies. We cannot hear other people's thoughts. We are not superheroes. So what does reading minds really mean? Reading minds is not about magic. It is not about special powers. It is about understanding people deeply. It is about noticing small signals. It is about understanding feelings, reactions, and hidden messages that people do not say directly. Many times, people do not say what they truly feel, but their face, their voice, and their body show the truth. Let me ask you something. Have you ever known that someone was upset, even when they said, "I'm fine"? Maybe your friend said everything was okay, but you could see something was wrong. Maybe their smile was not real. Maybe their voice was different. You felt it. You understood it. But they did not say it clearly. Or have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt that something was wrong? Nobody told you anything, but you could feel the tension. Maybe people were quiet. Maybe they were not looking at each other. You felt the atmosphere change. How did you know? Nobody explained it to you, but your mind noticed small details. This is what we mean by reading minds. It is the ability to understand people beyond their words. It is the skill of observing carefully. It is listening not only to what people say, but also to how they say it. It is watching their eyes, their posture, their energy. And when you combine all these small details, you begin to understand what they might be feeling inside. And the good news is this. This is a skill. It is not something you are born with or without. You can learn it. You can practice it. And when you improve this skill, your communication becomes stronger. Your relationships become deeper, and your confidence grows. So in this episode of Code Your English, we are not learning magic. We are learning awareness. We are learning how to understand people better. And at the same time, you will practice your English listening and speaking. Are you ready? Let's continue this journey together. Why reading minds is important in real life. Now let's talk about something very important. Why does reading minds really matter in real life? Why should you care about this skill? Why is it useful for you, not only as an English learner, but also as a person? First of all, reading minds helps you communicate better. Communication is not only about speaking correct grammar. It is not only about using advanced vocabulary. Real communication is about understanding and being understood. Many problems in life happen because of misunderstandings. Someone says one thing, but the other person understands something different. Sometimes the words are clear, but the feelings behind the words are not clear. When you learn how to notice emotions, tone, and body language, you begin to understand the full message, not just the words. This makes your conversations smoother and more meaningful. Think about a simple situation. Your friend says, "I'm fine." The words sound positive, but their face looks tired. Their smile is weak. Their voice is quiet. If you only listen to the words, you will believe everything is okay. But if you observe carefully, You may understand that your friend is not really fine. Maybe they are sad. Maybe they are worried. Because you notice these small signs, you can respond differently. Instead of changing the topic, you might say, "Are you sure? You look a little tired. Do you want to talk?" This small moment can make your friendship stronger. This skill also reduces misunderstandings. Many times we react too quickly. We assume something without checking the real situation. For example, imagine your teacher seems stressed in class. Their voice is louder than usual. They look serious. If you do not understand this situation, you might think, "The teacher is angry at me." But maybe the teacher had a difficult day. Maybe they are tired. When you learn to read emotional signals, you stop taking everything personally. You become calmer. You think before you react. This saves you from unnecessary conflict and negative thinking. Reading minds also helps you build stronger relationships. When people feel understood, they feel safe. When someone knows that you can notice their feelings without them explaining everything, they feel connected to you. This creates trust. Trust is the foundation of every strong relationship, whether it is friendship, family, or even professional relationships. People like to be around someone who understands them. They feel respected and valued. Now let's talk about work and study. This skill is very powerful in professional life. Imagine you are in a job interview. The interviewer starts with a friendly tone. They smile and speak warmly. Then suddenly, their tone changes. They become more serious. Maybe they lean back and cross their arms. If you are aware, you will notice this change. It might mean they are not fully convinced by your answer. Instead of continuing in the same way, you can adjust. You can explain more clearly. You can give another example. This ability to notice changes gives you an advantage. The same is true during presentations or group discussions. If you see that people look confused, you can explain again. If you notice that they are interested, you can continue confidently. You are not speaking blindly. You are responding to the energy in the room. This is especially important for you as an English learner. When you practice speaking with a partner, maybe your partner feels nervous. Maybe they speak very softly. Maybe they avoid eye contact. If you notice this, you can support them. You can slow down. You can smile more. You can encourage them. This makes the conversation comfortable. And when people feel comfortable, they speak better. Another big benefit is confidence. When you understand what is happening around you, you feel more in control. Social situations become less scary. Many people feel anxious because they do not know what others are thinking. They imagine negative things. They think, maybe they don't like me. But when you train yourself to observe real signals instead of imaginary thoughts, you become more confident. You rely on facts, not fear. Reading minds, in this realistic way, is not about controlling people. It is about understanding situations clearly. It helps you respond wisely instead of emotionally. It helps you connect instead of judge. It helps you succeed instead of guess. In real life, this skill can improve your friendships, your family life, your studies, your job interviews, and even your English practice. It makes you a better listener. It makes you more aware. And most importantly, it makes you more human. When you truly understand people, your world becomes easier to navigate. And that is why this skill truly matters. The science behind reading minds. Now let us go a little deeper and talk about the science behind reading minds. Do not worry. We are not going to use difficult psychology words. We will keep everything simple and practical. The goal is not to become a scientist. The goal is to understand how this skill really works in real life. First, let us talk about body language. Body language is the way our body speaks without words. Even when we are silent, our body is communicating. The way we stand, the way we sit, the way we move our hands, and even the distance we keep from others can send messages. For example, when someone crosses their arms tightly, it can sometimes mean they feel defensive or uncomfortable. When someone leans forward while you are speaking, it often shows interest. When a person keeps looking at the door, maybe they are distracted or want to leave. These are small signals, but they tell a story. Next, think about facial expressions. Our face is very powerful. It shows happiness, anger, fear, surprise, and sadness. Even when we try to hide our feelings, our face often shows the truth for a short moment. A real smile is different from a fake smile. A real smile reaches the eyes. The eyes become soft, and small lines may appear near them. A fake smile usually only moves the mouth. These details may seem small, but our brain is very good at noticing them. Now, let us talk about tone of voice. Tone is not about the words we use, it is about how we say them. A person can say, "That's great," in a happy voice, and it sounds positive. But the same words in a flat or cold voice can mean the opposite. Tone includes volume, speed, and energy. When someone speaks very fast, maybe they are nervous or excited. When they speak very slowly and softly, maybe they are tired or sad. When the voice suddenly becomes louder, it can show strong emotion. Listening to tone is a big part of reading minds. There is also something called micro-expressions. Do not worry about the long name. It simply means very small and very quick facial changes. Sometimes a person feels angry, but they try to look calm. For a second, their eyebrows may move down, or their lips may tighten. This change can be very fast, maybe less than 1 second. But it is real. These tiny signals show true emotion before the person controls their face again. Our brain can catch these signals, even if we do not fully realize it. So what does all this mean? It means that people show emotions even when they try to hide them. It is very hard to control the body, the face, and the voice perfectly all the time. Feelings naturally come out in small ways. We may say, "I'm not angry," but our hands are tight and our voice sounds sharp. We may say, "I'm confident," but our shoulders are down and we avoid eye contact. The body and the voice often tell the truth. Now you might ask, how do we notice all these small signals? The answer is simple. Our brain is already built to notice patterns. It compares what is normal and what is different. For example, if your friend is usually energetic and talkative, but today they are quiet and slow, your brain quickly understands that something is different. You may not know the reason, but you feel the change. That feeling is your brain connecting small signals together. This is where emotional intelligence and empathy become important. Emotional intelligence means understanding emotions, both your own and other people's. Empathy means feeling with someone, trying to see the world from their side. When you combine observation with empathy, you start to understand people more clearly. You do not only see crossed arms or hear a loud voice, you also ask yourself, what might this person be feeling right now? The good news is that this is not magic. It is a skill. And like every skill, it can be trained. The more you observe body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, the more you improve. The more you try to understand emotions instead of judging them, the better you become at reading situations. So the science behind reading minds is simple. People show emotions through their body, face, and voice. Our brain can notice these signals. We just need to slow down, pay attention, and practice. When you do this regularly, you begin to see things that you never noticed before. And slowly, you become someone who understands people in a deeper and more meaningful way. Now let's explore the key skills of reading minds. Observing body language, listening beyond words, understanding emotions, and practicing empathy in daily life. Skill number 1. Observing body language. Now let us move to the first practical skill, observing body language. If you truly want to learn the art of reading minds, this is where you begin. Body language is one of the clearest and strongest signals of emotion. Many times, the body speaks louder than words. The good thing is that you do not need special tools. You only need your eyes, your attention, and a calm mind. Let us start with eye contact. The eyes are very powerful. When someone looks at you while you are speaking, it usually shows interest and confidence. It means they are present in the conversation. But when someone avoids eye contact, looks down often, or keeps looking around, it may show nervousness, discomfort, or distraction. Of course, you must also think about culture and personality. Some people are naturally shy, but the key is to notice changes. If a person suddenly avoids eye contact during one specific topic, maybe that topic makes them uncomfortable. Now think about hand movements. Hands can show many emotions. Open hands often show honesty and openness. When someone speaks with relaxed hand movements, they usually feel comfortable. But tight fists may show anger or tension. When someone hides their hands in their pockets, they might feel insecure. Some people move their hands a lot when they are excited or passionate. Others move their hands quickly when they are nervous. Watch how the hands move. Are they calm or restless? Are they open or closed? Posture is also very important. The way a person sits or stands can tell you a lot. When someone stands straight with open shoulders, they often feel confident. When someone's shoulders are down and their back is slightly bent, they may feel tired, sad, or unsure. If a person leans forward while you speak, it often shows interest and attention. But if they lean back with crossed arms, it may show distance or disagreement. Again, do not judge quickly. One signal is not enough. But when you see many signals together, you begin to understand the full picture. Distance is another important detail. How close does someone stand to you? If a person stands very close, it can show comfort and connection. If they step back often, they may want more space. In conversations, people who feel relaxed usually stay in one place. But someone who feels uncomfortable may slowly move away or turn their body slightly to the side. These are small actions, but they send clear messages. Now, let us talk about nervous habits. Many people show their stress through small, repeated actions. Some people touch their face often. Some play with their hair. Some shake their legs under the table. Some tap their fingers again and again. These habits usually increase when a person feels nervous, stressed, or impatient. For example, imagine your speaking partner during English practice. They keep touching their face and speaking very fast. Maybe they are not confident about their grammar. If you notice this, you can slow down the conversation and smile to help them feel comfortable. Let us look at some daily examples. Crossing arms is very common. Sometimes it simply means a person feels cold, but sometimes it shows that they feel closed or defensive. You must look at the situation. If someone crosses their arms while you are discussing a serious topic, it might mean they disagree or feel uncomfortable. Looking down is another signal. When someone looks down while speaking, they might feel shy, guilty, or sad. But if they look down while listening carefully, they might just be thinking deeply. Again, context is important. Leaning forward usually shows interest. Imagine you are telling an exciting story, and your friend leans closer with wide eyes. That is a positive sign. It shows they are engaged. But if someone leans back and checks their phone, maybe they are bored. Smiling without the eyes is also very interesting. A real smile changes the whole face. The eyes become brighter and softer. But sometimes people smile only with their mouth. Their eyes stay serious or cold. This kind of smile may be polite, not real happiness. The most important thing to remember is this: do not observe to judge. Observe to understand. You are not trying to catch people doing something wrong. You are trying to understand their emotional state. And you must always combine different signals. Never decide based on one action only. Here is a simple practice for you. Next time you talk to someone, observe quietly. Do not stare in a strange way. Just notice small details. How is their posture? What are their hands doing? How is their eye contact? Are they relaxed or tense? After the conversation, think about what you noticed. Ask yourself, what do I think this person was feeling? The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. At first, it may feel difficult, but slowly, your brain will start to recognize patterns automatically, and you will begin to understand people without them saying everything clearly. This is the first step in the art of reading minds. It starts with simple observation, quiet, respectful, and careful observation. Skill number 2, listening beyond words. Now let us move to the second important skill in reading minds, listening beyond words. This skill is especially powerful for you as an English learner. When you improve this ability, you are not only becoming better at understanding people emotionally, but you are also improving your listening skills in English. You begin to hear more than vocabulary and grammar. You begin to hear feelings. Many people believe that listening means understanding the words, but real listening is deeper than that. Words are only one part of communication. The voice carries emotion. The tone, the speed, the pauses, and the energy of speech can tell you what the person truly feels. Let us start with tone of voice. Tone is the feeling behind the words. A person can say the same sentence in different tones, and the meaning changes completely. For example, imagine someone says, "That's interesting." In a bright and excited tone, it sounds positive. But in a flat or bored tone, it may mean they are not impressed at all. The words are the same, but the message is different. If you only focus on vocabulary, you may misunderstand the situation. But if you train your ear to notice tone, you will understand more clearly. Now think about the speed of speaking. When people are nervous, they often speak faster than usual. Their words may come out quickly, and sometimes they even make more mistakes. When someone is angry, they may speak faster and louder. On the other hand, When someone feels sad or tired, they may speak more slowly and softly. Their sentences may be shorter. The rhythm of their speech changes. These differences are not random. They are connected to emotion. Pauses are also very important. When someone pauses before answering a question, it may mean they are thinking carefully. But sometimes a long pause can show discomfort. For example, if you ask, "Are you happy with your job?" and the person pauses for several seconds before saying, "Yes, it's okay," that pause may show doubt. Silence can speak loudly. It can show hesitation, fear, or uncertainty. Repeated words are another signal. When someone repeats the same word or phrase many times, it can show strong emotion. For example, "I'm fine. Really, I'm fine." The repetition might mean the person is trying to convince themselves. Or when someone says, "It was very, very difficult," the repetition shows emphasis and strong feeling. Listen carefully to patterns like this. They often reveal what the person truly feels. Changes in energy are also powerful clues. Imagine your friend is telling a story. At first, their voice is normal. Then suddenly, their energy increases. They speak louder and faster when they talk about one specific moment. That part is probably important to them. Or maybe their energy drops suddenly when they mention a certain person. That drop in energy can show disappointment or sadness. Let us look at a simple example. Someone says, "It's okay," but very slowly and softly. The words sound positive, but the voice sounds weak. The sentence ends quietly. Maybe their shoulders are down. In this case, the voice is telling a different story than the words. The person might not feel okay at all. If you only listen to the sentence, you miss the truth. But if you listen beyond the words, you understand the emotion. This skill is called emotional listening. It means you are not only listening with your ears, you are listening with attention and empathy. You're asking yourself, how does this person feel while saying this? Not just, what did they say? For English learners, this is a very useful practice. When you listen to podcasts, interviews, or conversations in English, try to notice tone and emotion. Do not focus only on understanding every word. Notice how the speaker sounds. Are they excited, calm, nervous, confident? This will improve both your language skills and your emotional awareness. Also, during your own speaking practice, pay attention to your voice. Record yourself. Listen again. Does your tone match your message? If you are telling a happy story, does your voice sound happy? When you speak about something serious, does your tone become serious? The more you become aware of your own voice, the better you will understand others. Remember, sometimes feelings are hidden in the voice. People may choose polite or simple words, but their tone reveals the truth. If you train yourself to hear these small changes, you will begin to understand people at a deeper level. Listening beyond words is not about being suspicious. It is about being attentive. It is about caring enough to notice. When you truly listen, people feel respected. They feel heard. And that is one of the strongest connections you can create in any conversation. This is the second step in the art of reading minds. Not just hearing words, but hearing emotions. Skill number 3. Understanding emotions. Emotional intelligence. Now let us move to the third, and maybe the most important skill in the art of reading minds. Understanding emotions. This skill is connected to something called emotional intelligence. Do not worry about the long name. In simple words, Emotional intelligence means understanding feelings, your own feelings and the feelings of others. Before you try to understand other people deeply, you must first understand yourself. This is very important. Many people try to guess what others feel, but they do not understand their own emotions clearly. When this happens, they often project their feelings onto others. For example, if you feel insecure, you may think others are judging you, even when they are not. If you feel angry inside, you may think others are angry too. This creates confusion. So the first step is self-awareness. Self-awareness means noticing your emotions in the present moment. It means asking yourself simple but honest questions like, what am I feeling right now? Am I calm? Am I stressed? Am I jealous? Am I excited? Many times we feel something but we do not stop to name it. We just react. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine your friend does not reply to your message for many hours. You start to feel uncomfortable. You think, why are they ignoring me? Maybe you feel a little angry. Maybe you feel rejected. Instead of immediately blaming your friend, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Maybe you realize that you feel unimportant. Then ask, why am I reacting like this? Maybe in the past, someone ignored you, and that memory is affecting you now. When you understand your own emotion, you react more calmly. You might think, maybe they are just busy. When you practice this regularly, you become more emotionally stable. You do not react too quickly. You think before you speak. And this makes you better at reading other people's emotions because your mind is clearer. Here is another example. Imagine you are in an English-speaking practice session. Your partner makes a mistake and laughs nervously. If you do not understand your own emotions, you might think they are not serious. But if you are emotionally aware, you might recognize nervousness. Maybe you remember a time when you also felt shy while speaking English. Because you understand your own past feelings, you can understand theirs. This is empathy. Empathy means trying to feel what the other person might be feeling. It does not mean you agree with them. It does not mean you feel exactly the same. It simply means you try to see the situation from their side. And empathy becomes easier when you know your own emotional experiences. Another important question to ask yourself is, why am I reacting like this? Sometimes our reactions are stronger than the situation. Maybe someone gives you small feedback, but you feel very hurt. Why? Maybe you are already tired. Maybe you are stressed about something else. When you understand your emotional state, you stop mixing your feelings with the situation. This helps you see others more clearly. You cannot read others well if you are confused about yourself. Imagine trying to look through a dirty window. Everything outside looks unclear. But when you clean the window, you see better. Self-awareness cleans the window of your mind. It removes emotional confusion. Emotional intelligence also means managing your emotions. It is not about hiding them. It is about controlling your reaction. For example, if you feel angry, you do not immediately shout. You take a breath. You choose your words carefully. This calm behavior allows you to observe the other person more clearly. When you are too emotional, you stop observing. You only react. For English learners, this skill is also powerful. Sometimes you may feel frustrated because you cannot find the right word. You may feel embarrassed after making a mistake. If you understand this emotion and accept it, you stay confident. But if you ignore it, it may turn into fear, and fear blocks communication. So practice this daily. During the day, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is this feeling coming from the present moment or from something in the past? Why am I reacting in this way? These simple questions build strong emotional awareness. When you understand your own emotions clearly, something amazing happens. You begin to recognize similar emotions in others. You notice sadness in a quiet voice because you have felt it before. You notice excitement in fast speech because you have experienced it. Your emotional experience becomes your teacher. The art of reading minds is not only about observing others, it is also about observing yourself. When you know yourself deeply, you understand people more naturally and more accurately. And that is why emotional intelligence is at the heart of this skill. Common mistakes when trying to read minds. Now let us talk about something very important. When we try to read minds, we can also make mistakes. This skill is powerful, but if we use it in the wrong way, it can create more problems instead of solving them. So in this part, we will learn how to stay balanced and avoid common mistakes. The first mistake is overthinking. Sometimes we notice a small signal, and our mind starts creating a big story. For example, your friend replies to your message with only one word. Okay. Immediately, your mind may start thinking, are they angry? Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? But maybe they are just busy. Maybe they are tired. When you overthink, you move from observation to imagination. Reading minds should be based on real signals, not on fear or insecurity. The second mistake is assuming too fast. You see someone cross their arms, and you immediately think, they disagree with me. But maybe they are just cold. You hear someone speak loudly, and you think, they are angry. But maybe they are just excited. One signal is not enough to understand a person's emotion. You must look at patterns, not single actions. Always ask yourself, do I have enough information? If the answer is no, then slow down. Another common mistake is judging. When we judge, we stop being curious. For example, you see someone looking at their phone while you are speaking. You may think, they are rude, they don't care. But maybe they received an urgent message from family. When you judge quickly, you close your mind. Reading minds should come from empathy, not criticism. The goal is to understand, not to blame. There is also the mistake of thinking you are always right. This is very dangerous. Just because you are learning to observe body language and tone does not mean you become 100% correct every time. You are making educated guesses, not reading facts. Even professionals can misunderstand signals sometimes. So always keep a little doubt in your mind. Instead of saying, I know exactly what they feel, say, I think they might feel this way. This small change in language keeps you humble and open. Another big mistake is believing your guess is completely true. Let us imagine someone says, it's fine, in a soft voice. You think they are sad. Maybe you are right. But maybe they are just tired. If you treat your guess as a fact, you may react in a strange way. You might become too serious or too worried. Instead, you can gently check. You can say, you sound a little tired. Is everything okay? This gives the other person space to confirm or correct you. Good mind reading always allows room for correction. It is also important to remember that people are complex. Emotions are not always simple. A person can feel happy and nervous at the same time. They can feel confident in one situation and insecure in another. If you try to put people into simple boxes, you will misunderstand them. Stay flexible in your thinking. One more mistake is letting your own emotions control your interpretation. If you are already in a bad mood, you may see negative signals everywhere. If you feel insecure, you may think others are judging you. That is why emotional intelligence, which we discussed before, is so important. When you understand your own emotional state, you avoid mixing it with other people's behavior. So, what is the solution? The solution is balance. Reading minds is about careful observation, not imagination. It is about collecting signals slowly and calmly. It is about checking your understanding with kindness. It is about staying curious instead of being certain. Whenever you think you understand someone's emotion, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I observing facts or am I creating a story? This simple question can protect you from many misunderstandings. Remember, this skill is meant to improve relationships, not damage them. It should make you more patient, not more suspicious. It should make you more understanding, not more critical. Reading minds is not about proving you are smart. It is about connecting better with people. And connection grows when we stay open, humble, and willing to learn. So practice observation. Avoid imagination. Stay balanced. And always leave space for the possibility that you might be wrong. That is true wisdom in the art of reading minds. How to practice this skill every day. Now let us talk about something very practical. How can you practice this skill every day? Reading minds is not something you learn only by listening to a podcast. It becomes strong when you practice it in real life. The good news is that you do not need special training or expensive courses. You only need awareness and consistency. One simple way to practice is by observing people in public places. When you are sitting in a park, waiting at a bus stop, or standing in a queue, look around calmly. Do not stare in a strange way. Just observe naturally. Notice how people walk. Are they walking fast or slowly? Are their shoulders straight or down? Are they talking with energy or quietly? Try to guess what they might be feeling. Maybe someone walking quickly with tight shoulders is stressed. Maybe two friends laughing loudly are excited. This is not about judging them. It is about training your brain to connect body language with possible emotions. Another powerful exercise is watching interviews online. Choose a simple interview in English. It can be with a celebrity, a business person, or even a student. First, watch it normally and listen to the words. Then watch it again and focus only on body language and tone. Notice the facial expressions. Do the eyes change when a certain topic comes up? Does the person lean forward when talking about something important? Does their voice become softer when speaking about something emotional? This kind of practice improves both your listening skills and your emotional awareness at the same time. During your English conversation practice, you can also apply this skill. When you speak with a partner, do not only focus on grammar and vocabulary. Notice their tone of voice. Do they speak faster when they are nervous? Do they smile when they feel comfortable? Are they making strong eye contact? Or are they looking down often? These small details help you understand their emotional state. When you understand their feelings, you can respond in a supportive way. For example, if your partner seems nervous, you can slow down your speech and smile more. This creates a safe environment for both of you. After each conversation, take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself simple questions. What was the person feeling? What signs did I see? Did their tone match their words? Did their body language change during the conversation? Reflection is very important. It helps your brain learn from experience. The more you reflect, the better your observation becomes. You can even turn this into a speaking exercise. After meeting someone or watching an interview, try to describe what you noticed. You can say it out loud in English. For example, I think the speaker felt nervous at the beginning because his voice was shaking and he looked down many times. Later, he became more confident because he smiled and spoke more clearly. This practice helps you improve your vocabulary related to emotions and communication. Here is another small challenge for you. While listening to this podcast, you can pause and think about someone you talked to recently. Try to describe their emotional signals, or even now, pause the podcast and describe what you think someone around you is feeling. Say it in English. Even if your sentences are simple, this is excellent practice. You can also practice with movies or TV shows. Watch a short scene without subtitles first. Try to understand the emotion only from body language and tone. Then watch again with subtitles to confirm your understanding. This makes your brain sharper and more sensitive to emotional signals. The most important thing is consistency. You do not need to practice for hours. Just a few minutes every day is enough. Observation becomes stronger with repetition. At first, you may not notice many details, but slowly your awareness will grow. You will begin to see patterns more clearly. Remember, this skill grows in real life, not in theory. Every conversation is a chance to practice. Every public place is a classroom. Every interview is a lesson. And every reflection is improvement. So start today. Observe quietly, listen carefully, reflect honestly, and use English to describe what you see and feel. This way, you are not only learning how to read minds, but you are also building stronger English speaking and listening skills at the same time. The power of empathy, the heart of mind reading. Now we come to the heart of this whole topic. The real power behind reading minds is empathy. Without empathy, all the skills we discussed before can feel cold or mechanical. You may notice body language. You may hear tone changes. But if you do not have empathy, you are only collecting information. Empathy gives meaning to that information. It turns observation into human connection. First, let us understand something clearly. Reading minds is not about control. It is not about using emotional signals to manipulate people. It is not about becoming smarter than others. The true purpose is understanding. And understanding leads to kindness. Empathy means trying to feel what another person might be feeling. It means putting yourself in their position. It means asking, if I were in this situation, how would I feel? This simple question changes everything. Instead of reacting quickly, you pause. Instead of judging, you become curious. Imagine your friend cancels a meeting at the last minute. Without empathy, you might think, they don't respect my time. But with empathy, you might think, maybe something happened. Maybe they are stressed. This does not mean you ignore your own feelings. It simply means you try to see the full picture before reacting. When you understand people, they feel safe with you. Safety is very important in every relationship. When someone feels safe, they open up. They share their real thoughts. They speak honestly. But when someone feels judged or misunderstood, they close themselves. They become quiet or defensive. Think about a time when someone truly understood you. Maybe you were sad, and you did not want to explain everything. But the other person said, "You seem tired today. Is something bothering you?" In that moment, you probably felt seen. You felt valued. That is the power of empathy. It creates emotional safety. Empathy also improves your communication deeply. When you understand someone's emotional state, you choose better words. If someone is already stressed, you speak more gently. If someone feels nervous, you encourage them. If someone is excited, you share their energy. This makes your communication natural and strong. For English learners, empathy is especially helpful during speaking practice. Many learners feel shy or afraid of making mistakes. If you notice your partner's nervousness and respond with patience and kindness, you help them grow. And when they feel safe, they speak more confidently. Empathy creates a positive learning environment. It is also important to remember that empathy does not mean agreement. You can understand someone's feelings without agreeing with their opinion. For example, you may disagree with a friend's decision, but you can still understand why they feel a certain way. This keeps the relationship strong, even when opinions are different. Another beautiful thing about empathy is that it reduces conflict. Many arguments happen because people feel unheard. When both sides try to understand each other's emotions, the tone of the conversation changes. It becomes calmer. Solutions become easier to find. Empathy also helps you grow personally. When you practice understanding others, you become more patient and emotionally mature. You stop seeing people as right or wrong. You start seeing them as human beings with fears, dreams, stress, and struggles, just like you. Remember, reading minds without empathy can become dangerous. It can turn into suspicion or manipulation. But reading minds with empathy becomes a gift. It strengthens friendships. It improves teamwork. It deepens love. It builds trust. So always remind yourself of the true purpose. You are not trying to control people. You are not trying to win. You are trying to understand. And when you understand someone, even in small ways, you give them something very powerful: the feeling of being seen and accepted. That is why empathy is the heart of mind reading. It transforms observation into connection. It turns awareness into kindness. And in the end, it makes you not only a better communicator, but also a better human being. Life lesson: the real art. Now we reach the final and most important lesson. After everything we discussed: body language, tone of voice, emotional intelligence, empathy. What is the real art of reading minds? The real art is simple. It is listening carefully, observing quietly, and caring deeply. It is not about guessing every thought correctly. It is not about being perfect. It is not about proving that you are smart. The real art is about presence. It is about being fully there when someone is speaking. It is about noticing small details without interrupting. It is about giving your attention as a gift. Listening carefully means you are not only waiting for your turn to speak, you are truly hearing the other person. You are noticing their tone, their pauses, their energy. You are trying to understand the message behind the message. When you listen this way, people feel respected. Observing quietly means you are aware, but not dramatic. You are not reacting too fast. You are not jumping to conclusions. You are calm. You watch the small changes in posture, eye contact, and facial expression. You collect information slowly. This quiet observation helps you understand situations more clearly. Caring deeply is the most important part. Without care, observation becomes cold. But when you truly care about people, your intention becomes pure. You do not observe to judge. You observe to understand. You do not listen to find mistakes. You listen to connect. When your heart is involved, your understanding becomes more accurate and more meaningful. The real art of reading minds is actually the art of being human. It is about connection. In today's world, many people feel lonely. Many people feel misunderstood. Sometimes they do not need advice. They do not need solutions. They only need someone who truly understands them. When you practice this skill, your relationships begin to change. Your conversations become deeper. Your friendships become stronger. Your family connections become warmer. Even your professional life improves because people trust those who understand them. Remember this powerful truth. The more you understand people, the stronger your relationships become. Understanding builds trust. Trust builds connection. And connection builds lasting relationships. As you continue your journey, not only in learning English but also in learning about people, keep this lesson in your heart. Speak clearly. Listen carefully. Observe gently. And always try to understand before you react. This is the real art. Not magic, not mind control, just awareness, patience, and kindness. And when you live this way, you will notice something beautiful. People will start to feel safe with you. They will open up more. They will respect you more. And you will feel more confident in every conversation. So move forward with this mindset. Listen carefully. Observe quietly. Care deeply. That is the true art of reading minds. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want to thank you for staying with me and exploring this topic deeply. We talked about body language, tone of voice, emotional intelligence, empathy, and the real meaning of reading minds. But now, I want you to turn your attention inward for a moment. Let me ask you something simple but powerful. Have you ever understood someone without words? Maybe a friend looked at you, and you knew they were sad. Maybe your parents sounded different on the phone, and you felt something was wrong. Maybe your speaking partner hesitated, and you knew they were nervous. Think about that moment. How did you know? What signs did you notice? Now ask yourself another question. What signs do you usually notice first? Is it the eyes, the tone of voice, the posture? Do you pay attention to pauses? Or maybe you feel the energy in the room. Everyone is different. Some people are very sensitive to voice changes. Others notice small facial expressions quickly. Understanding your natural strength will help you improve even more. And here is another important question. Do you trust your intuition? Intuition is that quiet feeling inside you. It is the small voice that says, something is not right, or this person needs support. Intuition becomes stronger when you practice observation and empathy. But remember, intuition should work together with logic. Feel something, but also observe carefully. Balance both. I want to give you a small challenge for this week. This week, observe more, listen more, speak slowly, notice details. When someone talks to you, do not rush. Look at their face. Listen to their tone. Notice their energy. After the conversation, reflect for 1 minute. Ask yourself, what was this person feeling? Try to answer in English. Even simple sentences are enough. You can also use this as speaking practice. Record yourself answering these questions. Today, I spoke with my friend. I think she felt tired because her voice was soft and she looked down. This kind of practice improves your emotional awareness and your English fluency at the same time. You are learning communication skills and language skills together. Remember, the goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to become more aware and more kind. Every small step matters. Every conversation is an opportunity to grow. Before we finish, keep this simple line in your heart. When you truly see people, they feel seen. And when people feel seen, they feel valued. That is one of the most beautiful gifts you can give to someone. Thank you for listening today. Keep practicing, keep observing, keep improving your English and your understanding of people. I will see you in the next episode.